everyone, and welcome back to my podcast. Today is October 6th. I can't believe it's already October. I'm sorry there was no podcast last week, but as I said in my last podcast, we came down with a really bad cold, and it's been like 2 weeks now, and it's still lingering. So there may be some sniffling and whatnot, so bear with me on that. I do want to say thank you to anybody who sent me get well wishes. We did have a few people that left that in the comment box below, so thank you for that. I am feeling a lot better, although I still have the sinus thing going on, and my voice is not the greatest. So for those of you that don't know, I do have problems with my vocal cords. So since this was a combination of throat cold and a sinus cold, it's really irritated them. So the more I talk, the more croaky I get. So hopefully I'll be able to make it through this without having that issue, but I have noticed that the more I am talking, the worse it's getting. So once again, thank you for all your well wishes. So I am going to jump right into my off the hook section, which are finished projects, because I do have a few this week. I think I'll start off with the little coasters that I made, and you'll have to bear with me on the fact that we've been using these already, so they're already covered in dog hair. Anybody who has pets knows that their hair gets in everything that you do. So I made some little pumpkin coasters. My husband picked up this little round table. It's a vintage table, and we refinished it and everything, but it has leather on top, and then the leather's like inset into the wood, so it's a really neat little table. It's probably about that big, but we have it right here as a little tiny coffee table. And the first time we used it, my husband set his coffee down on it, and it left a little mark on the new varnish that we just put down. So I made up a couple little coasters and have been trying to get everybody to use them. I plan on making a couple more, but for now this is all I've been able to make, and they're just two little pumpkins, and they're strictly made out of scrap yarn. I have no idea what the yarn is, but I thought they were really cute. I may have a tutorial come up on these sometime soon. We'll see. But I have finished that. I did finish the neon stripes cat hat. I don't remember whether I said that I was going to make this a cat hat or not when I was talking about it last time. I did finish it. Unfortunately, it's too big, so I can't wear it. I have a very small head, you know, for an average adult. So I even measured it, and it's still too big, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it. And I did not pin down the ears this time, but that's what it looks like. And I do have a tutorial for this cat hat if you are interested. It's on my channel. But this is what it looks like. It would probably fit a normal size head, but since my head's too small, it just doesn't fit. It slouches too much. So I did finish that. I did finish my granny square or granny stitch shawl that I was working on. This is the variegated is Red Heart Reef, and the brown is Red Heart Coffee, I think. I really do need to look that up. But I've already thrown it in the washer and dryer, and for some reason it got all fuzzy. So I'm going to block it today, and hopefully everything will block out all right. I'm showing you the wrong side. But this is what it turned out like. I really like it. It's beautiful. And I decided to end it on a brown row because I had already run out of the reef. So my last section was a brown. I mean, I do have a little bit of that brown left, but like I said, I already ran out of the reef. So I decided to go ahead and end it with a picot edge. So what I did is I just did the regular 3 double crochets together, but in the center double crochet I did a picot. So once I block it, that picot edge will really pop out. But see how much it's just like really fuzzy for some reason. So hopefully blocking it will help with that. I don't know why it did that. I've never had a yarn do that before, so but that's what it looks like. I'm really pleased with it. And as I said before, I love this Red Heart Reef. It's a beautiful colorway. And that is all of my finished projects. I do have several whips, so I'm going to move on to my what am I hooked on section, which are my whips. I can't remember whether I showed this before, but this is another cat hat. I don't think that I showed this last time, but this is about as far as I've gotten so far. And this is out of that Red Heart Boutique Gleam. So it's that sparkly yarn. So it's a really pretty kind of an orangey red, and it has gold thread running through it, so it makes it sparkle, which I really like. I got several of these skeins on clearance at Walmart a while back, and I thought they were really nice. The only thing I don't particularly like about it is you have to hand wash it, which I did not notice when I bought it. I personally don't own one of my cat hats, so I wanted to go ahead and work on another one in this colorway since that one didn't work out, and I am going to make it much smaller, and I'm going to keep trying it on until it gets the right size. So I just think I measured that other one at 8 inches, and I think I don't know whether it just stretches too much or what, but I really want this one to fit right. So, and then I started on another hat, and this one is a loom knit hat. I haven't done any loom knitting in a little while, and this is also made out of that same brand of yarn. Let's see. So this one is, the black one's Raven. And the purple one is Berry. So Raven and Berry. And these ones have silver thread running through them. And since they're a worsted weight yarn, you have to have 2 strands held together to do a hat on the knitting loom, because you really need a bulky weight yarn for the hat to look right. But this is what it looks like so far. I think it's really cute. It's going to be another Halloween hat. I know I haven't made it really far enough for you to be able to see out of it, but I think it's going to be really cute. And I really love purple and black together. It's one of my favorite combinations for Halloween. So, and in my opinion, purple, black, and orange, and that like acid green are Halloween colors to me. So, I think this is going to turn out really cute. But that shouldn't take me very long. I should have that done by the time I podcast next time. Loom knitting goes, you know, pretty fast when you're making a basic project. And then the next thing I have is another shawl. So I have been saying for quite a while I want to make the virus shawl, and I was not able to find a written pattern for it. All I could find was a chart. I do okay with charts, so you know, it didn't intimidate me too much. So the only problem is just trying to keep track of where I was at. So I started highlighting the rows that I just completed, which I don't know how well that's going to work for if I want to make another one. But this is what I have so far. Find the right side without undoing anything. But I think it's really cute. So the blue is this Mainstays basic yarn that my husband got me, I think back in August, I think it was, but this is the color navy. So it's just, you know, a darker blue color. And I've been hanging on to it because I really wanted to make a shawl out of it. But I only had 2 skeins of that, so I knew to get, you know, a decent sized shawl, I'd have to mix it with something. So I've had, this is a Red Heart Super Saver. I do not know the color because I've had this. I made my very first shawl out of it, and recently I frogged that shawl because this is not one that I wear, because it was my very first shawl when I first started crocheting 15 odd years ago. So it wasn't the greatest work, so I decided to go ahead and frog it, and I had 3 skeins I think I pulled out of that shawl, and I've already used some for other projects, but I have, you know, basically probably a skein and a half here. So that's what I'm using. I'm alternating every repeat row for the colors. I'm undoing my work here. So every repeat I'm going to change colors, and I think it's turning out really cute. The virus shawl's not as difficult as it looks, you know, because that can really be intimidating if you're, you know, looking at it and you have all these stitches and there's chain spaces in between and all this other stuff, but it's really not as hard as it seems. So I'm really pleased with that so far. Now that I'm almost to the point where, yeah, I'm on the last row of this chart, so the next one is basically going to try and figure out exactly how many increases are going to change in between the next rows and everything. So we'll see, but I think I've got the pattern down pretty well now, and don't mind my tying here. I will take care of that at the very end, but I think it's really cute. These 2 yarns could really go well together, because I really don't like this variegated yarn. I don't know what I was thinking back in the day, but I'm assuming because it was blue or it had, you know, different shades of blue in it. That's probably what drew me to it, but it's, you know, it's got more brown than blue. So this darker color really breaks up that variegated really well, and I really like it much better now. So those are all of my whips. I am going to move on to my Charming Things section, which is my polymer clay charms that I've been making. I cannot remember whether I showed these ones or not, so I'm just going to show them again. If it's a repeat, I'm sorry. But I've been making things for like fall, and now I'm moving on to Halloween. So the first one that I did, if I can get a hold of it, was this little pumpkin. It's really cute. So for polymer clay, you basically just make your little shapes and then you bake them in the oven. And then I spray them with lacquer. Some people use the paint-on lacquer, but I just use, you know, the spray-on lacquer that you get out of the spray paint section. And it works really well for that. I've made up a little rig to hang them from, so I can get the whole entire sides. But that's the little pumpkin I made. And then I wanted to use that as a set, so I made little leaves. So I tried my hardest to be able to try and make like a maple leaf, and I just could not do it. So I could not get it to turn out right. So I just kind of used these ones. I have no idea what type of what type of leaves these are, but I think they're really cute. So I did one in brown, orange, and green. So that is, you know, my fall set, and I'm starting to work on my Halloween sets, but I've only managed to make one so far. So I made a little witch hat, and I was so irritated because I pulled it out of the oven, I let it cool, and I went to pull it off the pan and I dropped it. So it broke off the little tip, but I glued it back on. So I'm gonna sand that glue mark off, and then I think I'm gonna take some, whoops, just like that is how I did it. But I'm gonna sand that glue off, and then I'm going to go over it with some sparkly nail polish, I think. And then I'll spray it with spray lacquer, and I think they're really cute. My husband even says, "Oh, I like that. You should make some more of those." And so I haven't had the chance to make any more. I plan on doing some little characters. I found a great tutorial on YouTube how to make like little, they're like little flat characters, you know, sort of like the leaves I have here. So they're little flat round characters that have like, you know, Frankenstein and ghosts and stuff like that. So they're not exactly 3D like the hat is, but I think they're still really going to be cute. And, you know, I want to have a whole Halloween stitch marker set too. So I plan on working on some of those this weekend. And my husband said that I should make some more of these little hats, and maybe we can sell them. So, but I think they're really cute. So those are all of my charms for this week, and if the pumpkins and leaves are a repeat, I'm sorry. I just honestly cannot remember whether I've showed those or not. So, yeah, that's probably not going to be a segment every week, because I mainly only want to make them when I'm trying to collect stitch markers for each, you know, season and occasion. So I really only mainly use paper clips for stitch markers right now. So I do have some that I've made out of charms that I bought at Walmart. I have some angel wings. I'm sure you've seen those. I have the little owls that I've made, and I've had the books, or I have the books. But those, you know, you can only find so many things like that, and I have not been able to find any cute little witch hats or pumpkins like that or anything like that in my area that I can afford. So I decided just to go ahead and make them myself. So I think that is it for this week. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.